Hello, my name is Marissa and welcome to my 2022 small suburban garden. My garden is pretty empty right now, but it's my hope to share its progression through the months, including when it's the most bare. Alright, so this is my green stock planter I recently redid. I have a video on it that I'll link, but I wanted to show how much it's come in. It's really come along quite the way, considering I haven't filled it all, but it's doing so well. I am going to finish planting up here, but I wanted to share, look at all those strawberry blossoms. This plant was not looking happy before I had topped it off with worm castings and compost and beer kashi. And then I also added some red wigglers. I highly recommend to check out that video because it's just a video on how to top off your soil in pretty much any container garden. Right here I have some celery that's just been going and going since last year, some arugula, oak leaf lettuce. This right here is a big nasturtium plant. I'm a really big fan of having nasturtium in the garden. I use it on top of sandwiches or anywhere I would normally use a lettuce. It does kind of have a peppery taste like arugula does, with the bite of what like a BUTTERCRUNCH lettuce would, or like a kind of like a romaine. It might be a little more watery than that. I've also heard of it being used for things like pesto, or in replacement of things like spinach. The flowers are really wonderful too because they're bright and beautiful, but they just add a lot of beauty to the plate or to the dish that you're making. It's flowered a little bit, but I know not quite like what it normally will, so I'm looking forward to more flowers from that. This is a Schwarzenbeeren blueberry plant that I planted from Baker Creek, and it produced a lot for me last year, and I cut everything back and it came back, so I'm really excited about that. I have more arugula, I have parsley, flat leaf and curly, more of the celery, and then the strawberry plant, some more arugula, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that reaching max capacity here in the few weeks coming.
So I tried this new restaurant today called The Kitchen, and basically the concept is that you gather all your own ingredients and make your own food. How is this place still in business? What?
Here I have a LEEK plant over here, and then two cauliflower plants that I recently planted from seedlings that I had started from seed. This is a calendula plant, and this is a garlic plant. Those two over there are volunteer chives, and I didn't plant them there, but I'll probably leave them there and plant more seeds to come. On the edge of the garden bed and the walkway, I have a whole bunch of weeds here that I haven't cut back. Only one has gone to seed. Oh, and that grass has too. But basically, I'm going to use this as compost. It will be a great additive in my compost because it is very nutrient dense. And so when I add this to my bokashi buckets, it's going to break down and really help the overall nutrient density of what I'm turning back into the soil over here eventually. Over here, I have a LEEK plant, and then I have kale, a marbled Four Seasons lettuce, mustard, a California poppy plant right there. And then I recently planted this whole entire garden bed with garlic, the hardneck variety that I got from San Diego Seed Company. Here I have more kale, that's the Ragged Jack variety. Strawberry blonde calendula. This was blossoming and a lot of flower buds had come in, but my daughter, who likes to stay back here with me while I'm doing any kind of gardening stuff, ripped off the buds and just threw them back in the garden bed. So that was a fun little learning experience for her. And then this bed also has garlic planted in it. I have a sad lime and a mandarin orange here. I definitely need to do something with them because they're not so happy in these little pots right here. We have some lemon balm, and then this is spearmint. I used to have these two plants right next to each other, but the wonderful thing about nature is that it's so resilient, because this plant was infested with spider mites and it completely died back. I thought it was a goner, so I just moved it out of here and out of the way because I was going to replant it. But then I noticed probably about 2 months ago, it slowly was surely coming back. So I'm super excited about that plant. This is oak leaf lettuce. We have an echinacea, I believe it's the Paradiso echinacea mix from Baker Creek Seeds. Here, lettuce, it has a whole bunch of dirt on there because I was amending the beds and my daughter was out here making a mess of it. I have some more leeks right here, and garlic. Right here I have a nasturtium plant. Last year I had a huge nasturtium plant right here, and I collected a whole bunch of seeds from it after it went to seed, and this is one of the baby plants of that original plant, and I'm looking forward to this because I know when a nasturtium goes into full bloom, it goes into full bloom, so I can't wait for that to happen. Over here I have some sage that's been growing in this box forever and doing really well. I really love the purple flowers it produces. Over here I have another strawberry blonde calendula, overwintered Greek dwarf basil right here and right here, and then a Genovese basil right there. And then this whole bed has been planted with garlic as well. Alright, so this bed right here is probably my most successful winter garden bed. It's a whole bunch of buttercrunch lettuce mixed in with the garlic all throughout, and then also the peas. I just recently learned that garlic and peas aren't the best companion plants, but it will still produce for you, like right here. I guess it's just not as nearly as productive had it not had garlic right next to it. So I'm a really big fan of the buttercrunch lettuce because it's a pick and come again style lettuce, where I'm not actually cutting off and harvesting all these heads. I just come out and I will tear off the outer leaves and harvest those and let the plant stay intact in the ground so it can continue to produce. And I will be able to keep doing that until they go to seed, which is why it was important for me to come out here and document this, because it has been so warm today and yesterday and in the coming days that this might bolt, or as I mentioned, go to seed, which means that I really don't want to harvest off of it anymore, because I'll have leaves that taste kind of bitter. Alright, so this bed, I recently amended the whole thing, pretty much gutted it and then topped it off with worm castings, compost. In that garden bed I added bokashi, and in this one I didn't add anything so I could kind of have a side-by-side comparison. This plant right here is a start I purchased at the farmer's market almost 2 years ago. It's a black pepper plant variety, and they're super spicy. I didn't realize that, and I took a bite of it, and I was so sad afterwards. I was crying because it hurt so much when I ate it, and it wasn't just like my tongue, it was my nose, my eyes, everything was burning. So yeah, that's a great medicinal pepper, I would have to say. Here I have some rosemary, and in this bed I have only planted garlic so far, but I'm looking forward in the coming months to start using these trellises for the upcoming plants I'm going to have in here. This is an elderberry plant I have that hasn't flowered for me yet, but hopefully it will this year. It always dies back drastically in the winter and then comes back every year with a vengeance, so I'm excited to see that. I got that from a clipping, and so it's grown a lot, and I know it doesn't look like much right now, but I know that there's a pretty nice root system in that pot. Okay, so last but not least, I have the back area of my backyard. Here I planted some nasturtium. Those are also from that mother plant that I had mentioned. I have an aloe vera, cacti of some sort. These are both the same. They were just here and dying when we first moved in, so we potted them up and have just been taking care of them ever since. This is a ponytail palm that is still in the nursery pot, and I'm just waiting to pot that up into the terracotta. A snake plant and a jasmine plant, and then this is the same type of tree as this tree. I don't know if it was purposely planted here and just neglected, but it really struggles in this space. But I still try to give it a chance every year because if it grows, it will just be such a gorgeous, beautiful tree, just like that one. Alright, so I know it's time to wrap it up because the lanterns are coming on back there and up here, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. As always, we invite you into our home by clicking that subscribe button, and we look forward to sharing future content with you. Thank you. Bye.